Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And everything old is new again, from ladders to doorknobs to fill in the blanks, right? We've got some ideas for you.
Yes, we do.
Mike, what about using a doorknob?
I don't know why you wouldn't. Now check this out. This is kind of cool. Imagine, if you will, that you have, big pieces of either paving stones or circular patio stones that are just smooth concrete. Well, what are you going to do to grout around those little stones? I'll tell you. You're going to find some old doorknobs, and you're going to bury them face down into the dirt around it, becoming your grouting, as it were, to the bigger stones, right? So doorknobs that are shoved down into the soil around it to create grouting, that gives you this kitschy sort of, what the heck is on the ground? Those are doorknobs? Man, those are cool. Then you become a hero.
And it doesn't look like a doorknob necessarily. You have to really look at it. The eye plays tricks with you first, huh?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And so how would you get it in? I mean, do you need to add anything?
No.
Just ram it in the dirt.
Just ram it right in the dirt, put your foot on it, push it down into place.
Just ram it and jam it.
Ram it and jam it, as they say.
I would say. But isn't that neato? I love that idea.
Really cool, right? Yeah. Now, another thing you can do, for example, if you have a bunch of ladders that are just sort of on the side of the house, don't throw them out. They can become a potting station by creating a triangle with two different wooden ladders, right? And you just screw gun them at the top. Secure the top to create a triangle with two ladders, and then just put some wood planking on two of the rungs going on the bottom and then on the top, so that you're basically creating an A shape using your ladders as the two outside angles down, and then a plank right in the center. You can either do 2 or 3 shelves. That becomes an instant potting bench.
Oh, I want to see like major spilling over plants with baskets.
Wouldn't that be pretty?
Very, very pretty.
I know. How about like a garden table from old windows that you might have, right?
Ooh.
Easy to do. The top is the window itself, and then you're just going to attach legs to all 4 corners, and you can use these angle iron things to create right angles, and there's actually Simpson strong ties. They're used in framing, and they can create angles around the edge of the windows on all 4 corners, right? And then you can put your legs straight down and then screw all of those screws together to unify the legs to the top, which is your window that's face up.
Very, very nice.
Cute.
Very, very nice. We've seen this in person, in fact, at one of the garden shows that we saw in San Francisco. The idea is that you use an old table and you turn it into basically a planter that is in your table. It could be a shipping pallet, right?
Sure.
And now it becomes, these pallets that we talk about are everywhere. They're abandoned, often behind stores and behind the big box stores. And what you can do is that you just turn, that you take apart the pallet itself, and then you create this little pocket where you're going to have a planter in the center of it, and you'll put some kind of a table
that
runner.
Is so cute.
Right.
I love that.
And so it becomes a sunken, succulent-filled box, complete with drainage holes.
Right.
And the succulents, they grow slowly, so they don't mind being packed into this little thing. And you'll only need occasional watering, which is unlikely to cause the wood to rot. But I love the idea that now this becomes an outdoor table, a picnic table, if you will, with an all-year-round centerpiece.
And you know what I love about that, too? It keeps the centerpiece a little bit lower.
Yes, for conversation.
You and I were at a restaurant the other night where...
Well, it has a big Easter basket in
the
the center.
I couldn't see you. It's like the character in the TV series with Tim... What was it? What was his name? The construction TV series where the guy...
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement, where the guy, you just saw the top of his head peeking over the fence. I couldn't see. I like the centerpiece to be a little bit lower, so that works out well.
Yeah, so try that. I mean, I love the idea of turning old pallets into this instant, outdoor table.
Yeah, perfect.
What about using some salvaged pavement as an outdoor table?
Well, let me tell you something. I was just driving by a construction site the other day, and I saw that they demoed out an old sidewalk, right? And you see these big, beautiful pieces of concrete that are whole still, but they're chipped around the edges. But it's like a perfect opportunity to create a tabletop because the pavement is perfectly smooth. But if you can get, and you're going to need a buddy to help you load this huge thing, and it's going to weigh a ton. But it's already precast. Yet they didn't break it up too much, so it was a big enough area to become a tabletop. And then you can either use cinder block legs and put it on top of that,
clever,
or you can pour concrete in cylinders that are used for. They're called sonotubes, and they're used to create footings in the ground. But you just use that as a guide and dump concrete into that. That becomes the form You build up 2 tabletop legs height-wise, right? And then once the cement's dry, you peel those sonotubes away, and you've got your concrete columns, and then your salvaged sidewalk is the tabletop, and there
Very
you go, done.
good
End of
looking.
story.
It seems
Probably the heaviest table in the history of man,
right.
but it really looks cool.
It's not moving.
No,
It's
not going anywhere. No,
But
it's like a bunker.
it sounds like it would be very contemporary, almost like a hotel look. You know,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it looks kind of mod like that. Very much so.
Now, if you are like me and have this darn struggle with your lawn hose, if like for us, it's the outtake is not in the best spot. It's like you walk up to the front door and there it is. And it's like, how do you get the hose so people aren't tripping up on it as they walk to the front door?
Yeah.
Right?
And the winders aren't that great. I don't think they work
and
that
then
well.
then where do you put the big winder? It's this big clunky thing. So I love the idea of lifting it up. We always talk about getting things off the ground. What about creating this hose wrap with these wooden cordage spools? And where do we get those darn things?
Well, those are wire holder. Basically,
Like phone
in hardware
company?
stores, like old hardware stores would have these things where you'd wrap wire around them.
Okay, right.
And they would kind of be the holding device for the wire as you parsed it out to your clients. Well, those things are in existence all over. You can find them in old salvage yards or warehouses or even old hardware stores that may have some of the wire that they've sold, and those are just sitting around. Easy to do. You attach that to the side of your house. Do 3 of them in maybe 5 to 8 inches apart, so that you've got an easy place to wrap the hose up.
And I love the idea, too, because now they sell hoses in different colors, too. So now it can almost become artwork instead of having just the basic green hose.
I agree.
You can get one kind of in almost like an apple,
Sure.
a granny apple green, kind of gives it that citrus vibe, and it looks pretty
It
against the
doesn't
wall.
it doesn't have to be classic hose.
Right.
I like the different colors. Very cute.
So these are all things that, that you can turn from old into new for basically without spending any money at all.
That's
right?
exactly right.
Right.
Heck yeah.
So we need to do all these things. And it requires you to be kind of like a spy. Keep your eyes and ears open as you're driving around where you live. You might find some of these things.
Boy, I'll tell you. And you drive behind some of these old warehouses or stores, and you can't believe some of the stuff that's thrown out. And just use your imagination to get, motivated to figure out how to use this stuff. Cheap, free, and delicious.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
So what about some other things that we can do? What about it's a chandelier, but it's mismatched lampshades. And, with little elbow grease, you can clean up the old chandelier lampshades and then give them new life by lighting up your outdoor dining table.
Very, very cute.
The whole idea is to, again, you probably could find these at a garage sale. A lot of times they're that kind of old retro, those glass candelabra shades, if you will, right?
Absolutely.
And now the idea is you can, the mismatched ones will work too, and you can turn it into a centerpiece by placing tea lights inside each of them, and you run them all along in a row, in a single line across your long picnic table that you have.
Sure.
Very
good idea.
And for a sturdier arrangement, you can even drill holes sized to fit the lamp bases in a salvaged piece of lumber, and then maybe prime and paint that first.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So now it's kind of like it's one piece.
That's right. And then, the other thing, too, is that garage sales are often getting rid of old lawn furniture, which looks terrible because it's probably rusted out and it just doesn't have visual appeal. It's so easy to just spray paint any of this old furniture when it's outdoor, and you cannot believe you get a revived look to everything. And if you don't want to spray it yourself, we always talk about you can take it to an auto body store, and for $100, these guys will take any paint that they've got in the sprayers already that they've just finished a car on, and just shoot anything that you want to bring in there and have repainted. You cannot believe how much the chairs end up looking great, or some of the lawn furniture, tables, the wrought iron stuff that looks crappy that you want to kind of give a facelift to. Even if it's just white, it looks so much better, crisp, new, and clean.
Now here's something that I want to do, because I have old china plates that I've saved that are broken.
Yeah.
I have them in a box for future projects. How about turning tumbled pottery bits in with rounded edges? Basically, I guess you could take them somewhere and they would tumble them for you, right? And now you're creating colorful, almost like your own instant art glass that you can put on your patio with your outdoor lawn chairs, and it gives you this playful kind of a look in terms of your of your flooring. It becomes like a little stone gravel with decorative pieces of dishes that have been tumbled.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Do you have any ideas on
You
where
know,
I could
well,
take
you
it?
know what I did? I did hand cast stones out of concrete that are sort of kidney shaped that I poured in the ground.
That's cute.
And then for grouting, I used that fireplace glass.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is actually kind of cool. Now, if you walk barefoot on it, it's a little bit like torture, but it sure looks good.
Okay. When we come back, we have some more fun things to share with you here on Home Wizards. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. We love to improve your home and improve your life.